Every few days now, some app or website interrupts your login and asks if you want to create a passkey. Most of us either tap yes without knowing what we agreed to, or hit no out of suspicion. Avoiding them is no longer a viable long-term strategy. Passkeys have moved past the startup phase to become a mandatory infrastructure upgrade required by the entire tech industry. This chart shows the scale of the rollout based on FIDO Alliance data. There are now more than 12 billion passkey-enabled accounts across the internet, with 5 billion in active daily use. With 90% of consumers now aware of them, the transition away from passwords is now the official standard for most major platforms. The dilemma is that while you must migrate to this new standard, the specific way you set it up matters. Getting it wrong risks permanently locking your credentials to one tech ecosystem, or worse, a catastrophic account lockout. To understand the setup traps, you have to understand the mechanics. A passkey is a paired mathematical lock and key that replaces the concept of a memorized secret string of characters. When you create a passkey for a specific website, it splits into two halves. The private half stays on your device, and the public half sits on the website server. Here is why that matters. If a hacker breaches that server and steals the public half, they get nothing of value. On its own, that public half cannot log anyone in. When you sign in, your phone mathematically proves it holds the private key. No secret is ever transmitted over the internet, which means there is nothing for a thief to intercept. And for the primary privacy concern, your fingerprint or face scan simply unlocks the key locally. That biometric data never leaves your phone. Because there is nothing to type and no secret to hand over, passkeys eliminate the main risks of phishing, credential reuse, and server-side data breaches. The practical trap lies in where you store that private key. That location dictates your future digital flexibility. If you are fully committed to either Apple or Google hardware, you can take the single ecosystem path and use their built-in native managers. The benefit here is frictionless setup. Your passkeys automatically synchronize across all your native devices using end-to-end encryption. This exportability matrix shows the trade-off of native tools. Platform lock-in if you ever leave the ecosystem. While iOS 26 added secure export, Android and Windows offer no easy exit. Once saved natively, moving to a different operating system is a headache. The alternative is the mixed ecosystem path, which means storing your credentials in a third-party manager like 1Password or Bitwarden. These tools bypass lock-in. They hold your keys independently, letting you authenticate smoothly across a mix of Windows PCs, Android phones, and iPhones. This decision tree maps out the strategy. If your hardware is entirely unified under one brand, you can safely use native tools. If you live in a mixed device household, you need a third-party manager to avoid being trapped. But what if you don't have your devices with you? A common concern is needing to log into an account on a public computer or a friend's laptop without a memorized password to type in. You handle this by selecting Sign in from another device. The borrowed computer displays a QR code. You scan it with your primary phone and verify with your face or fingerprint. Behind the scenes, the devices verify they are physically close over Bluetooth. This prevents a scammer in another country from remotely triggering the sign-in. Crucially, once your session ends and you walk away, absolutely zero credential data remains on the borrowed computer. This solves the need for public access while maintaining a secure zero-trace environment. The ultimate fear is what happens to your digital identity if your phone is lost, stolen, or destroyed. The mechanical truth is that modern passkeys are synced to a cloud account. They are not permanently trapped inside the physical hardware of your phone. When you get a replacement device, you simply sign in to your Apple, Google, or Password Manager account, and all your passkeys are restored. But the consequence of this system is that the specific master account you sync to now becomes your single point of failure. Because of this, you need to establish robust recovery contacts and physical backup codes for your master account immediately, before an emergency happens. Losing access to your master account without having those backup codes ready risks a total, unrecoverable lockout from every connected service in your life. This shift changes the nature of your security. You're trading the risk of remote hackers for the personal responsibility of managing your own account recovery. To adopt this standard safely, you need a prioritized migration playbook. First, start with your primary email account. It serves as the master key, capable of resetting almost all of your other services, so securing it is the highest priority. Second, don't try to convert every single account today. Shared logins, like your family streaming services, are still too clunky for passkeys and should be left as is for now. Third, secure your master account with verified backup codes right now, whether you rely on iCloud, Google, or a third-party manager. Finally, keep your legacy passwords active as a fallback where platforms still offer them. You don't need to delete your passwords today. Just move them to a secondary role so your security no longer depends on them. Passkeys mathematically fix the internet's oldest vulnerability. Executing a patient, hardware-aware setup is the only reliable way to reap the benefits without falling into the new traps.